Engineer 775. We're having an interesting start to this job. We just had a nice blowout on my trailer, the old farm trailer. Never had a blowout with it before. So got a new tire. So hopefully this front one doesn't blow out. She's loaded pretty heavy, but they are load range E tires. Anyway, I was glad to have James with us. James is a new employee. Thank you, James, for joining me. Need some help. And then Elijah's back in school, so the timing was great. James needed a job. Elijah's back in school. And there you have it. But we can't even get to the job. So Elijah came, we got the wheel off, unloaded everything, got the wheel off, took the wheel to a local tire shop, and they had the same tire, because that's where I got the other ones. And so this stinks. We're gonna make another attempt at getting to the job site and get unloaded. I've got a new move with KB Solar, where they're gonna deliver it to the site. So I've got to get this machine to the site to unload, which I need anyway. Anyway, it's a little chaos. It's 97 degrees. Hopefully we don't have another blowout. Okay, we're here on site after a fun day yesterday with a tire blowing out, but we've made it. We've got 90% or more of the equipment. And I'm going to show you this is how we start making the sausage. Excuse me. We've got, in future plans, we're putting two 15Ks, a bypass. We're going to make provision for more loads like an electric car charger. And that's what we're working through, make sure we have our overcurrent protection. And now we're going to go out. I'm going to leave this here for a bit and go work on the ground mount, because I have panels coming in 4 hours. So I want to get these posts pounded, and then we will come back to this. We have a lot of crawl space work. So let's go build 2 ground mounts. We're going to do some HVAC work too. I'm going to put micro airs on both of these American Standard condensing units. One's got 130 amp locking rotor, and I think this one's like 100. I'm going to knock that down. We have with 2 inverters and 12 EG4s. We have no problem running both of those. So we're going to be putting a 24 panel. The county here made us split the array into 2, which was kind of a bummer. So we're going to have an array there, and we're going to have an array behind the barn. And hopefully got enough space between the barn and the property line to not have shading. This is going to be a seasonal adjust Sinclair 224s, and I'm going to run each 24 into each inverter, so it'll be super balanced. And I'm going to mix up the wire sizes on this one. I'm going to have 3 strings of 8 in each. I'm going to do a single string home run, and I'm going to do a parallel string home run on each inverter. So we're going to mix and match some wire sizes, and just gives me more data to analyze on PowerView. And so we got over 100 systems that we're looking at on PowerView. So you learn a lot looking at all the SCADA data. And so it's time to get to work. We wait till it's really hot and we go south so it gets hotter, because I'm not so good, I'm not so smart. All right, day 1 here at a new job. I think we've done really well today. The last job was brutal. Customer wouldn't let me film there. Took us 5 days. We hit rock. So this was really refreshing. Within 2 hours, we had all posts pounded in with the Rhino, Solar Rhino Pro, and ready to accept the purlins. But I brought my excavator today so that we could get our conduits in and out. So when we work on the array, we're not having to come back and dig close to the glass and get that all done. So we got our disconnects, 24 panels, 24 panels. I'm gonna do 2 strings of 8, and I'm gonna do 2 single strings. And then I have a 2-inch conduit going back. We got our pole box in, and so it was a good day. We got a lot done. Got a new helper, James, who lives close to me, and that really helps in terms of logistics, moving trailers, moving equipment. And we'll do the same tomorrow. I'm gonna have him come. We're gonna snag that and snag the skid steer. And we're having panels delivered by KB Solar to the job site tomorrow for free. That's a new move. Again, so our solar's gonna go in there. We're gonna transition to EMT because you have to code. And let's see what Willis and Wes got done in here. Tomorrow we gotta put soft starts on that. That's Tony's expertise. And then, well, we got some work done in here. This guy's got the gutter up, 2 15Ks, gonna really make this work. We found a secret room under a staircase the customer didn't know was back there. That's kind of cool. We're gonna have a sub panel for an outdoor building and a electric car charger for the future. Our bypass, typical stuff that you see. And all our penetrations getting ready for grid. We have a fusible disconnect, 12 EG4 batteries, and all the other goodies. So this is really good. Day one, we really got a lot done for one day. So tomorrow will be Friday. We'll get things in pretty good shape, and I hope we can finish Monday, Tuesday, probably Tuesday. 4 days for a 2 15K 2 ground mount job I couldn't be happier. It's awesome. All right, everybody's ready to go home. They're tired of me filming. So we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, day 2 on this hybrid Sol-Ark dual 15K job. I'm gonna be loading up equipment. You can see it's our typical Sinclair ground mount, 2 ground mounts, 2 24 panel ground mounts. We had the solar delivered to us today by the owner, Alex of KB Solar. You've seen him in a previous video if you watched where these are manufactured here in South Carolina. I am going to crank this down. We have it pretty flat for construction. It just makes it easier to reach everything if they're flat. And that's what the seasonal adjust jacks are handy for that. So the frame, everything came out really nice on these panels. They laid well. It's amazing the difference in manufacturers. It came out very nice, very straight. And again, these are bifacial 450 watt panels from KB Solar. We're just starting to dress them now. And Wes is working on that array down there. So and James is working on getting it grounded. There's some debate on whether or not, we've been putting ground rods in forever. And just because we're in a county that is always questioning grounding, they're just looking for ground rods. So it's probably overkill when we drive these posts 8 feet in the ground. So anyway, it's a Friday afternoon. Kind of gonna clean up, wrap up. I'll show you these we've started getting these caps, which are face savers, head wound savers from Sinclair. They got these molded, you just tap them on the end. So once you get your purlins cut to the length you want, you just tap those ends on there and a lot less damage is going to happen. So that's a nice addition to the mix. We got to run our wire. We're probably not going to get that till Monday. We're going to adjust these arrays, get them wired up today. And we're doing pretty good on the bottom end too. Willis is pulling Romex through the crawl space and running EMT in the crawl space. So we're in pretty good shape. So I'm going to adjust these, but right now I'm going to load some equipment. So it makes our life a lot easier to have equipment, the excavator, the Bobcat, the Rhino. I will not do rentals anymore. You got to start with rentals. That's how we started, because this stuff's so expensive. Anyway, just showing you around. We're a day and a half into this job, almost 2 days in. It's great. So, but the Rhino is a blast, literally sometimes. So it took 2 hours to put these posts in, and I wish I could have shot the job that we did last week. It took us 5 days, 24 yards of concrete. Just ridiculous. But so it was when I came home, I gave my Rhino a hug. Just kidding. But seriously, this is an awesome piece of equipment. They're about 50 grand. So you got to drive a lot of posts to pay for it. I'm going to do a little, I got a little rust going on that chain. I got to take care of that, but kind of look it over, grease where I can grease it, but it's done extremely well. So good job, Rhino, on your Solar Pro. It is the jam, and it will fit on any skid steer, but you need a machine. You really need a machine that's at least 10,500. This is one that they advertise, the T770 or bigger, Bobcat, Kubota, whatever, as long as you have the lifting capability. That weighs 3,200 pounds. So we had somebody get a machine for a job we were doing, and the thing would not pick it up off the trailer. So that was a waste of a lot of time. But we don't want to do that. So just make sure your machine can lift 3,500 pounds at least if you're gonna mess around with the Rhino. All right, let's adjust these arrays. All right, we've adjusted it down to 30 degrees. It looks a lot nicer. So good job. Shout out to KB Solar again. Everything came out really nice. Just gonna dress these, pull the wire in Monday. If we're really ambitious, we could get this up and running. A dual 15K, dual inverters, dual EG4 stack in 3 days. So sometimes the job just lends itself to getting it done. So the soil cooperated, everything went well, so I'm happy. A little bit of raking, a little bit of cleanup. Can't leave without raking. All right, we're at the part of the job where you've got to shut the power off to the house to put in bypasses, disconnects, extra panels. And so we've shut the main, this house had a main breaker, so that makes it easy. We didn't have to pull the meter. So we turned the main breaker off. I'll show you that out there. And now we're pulling this main service entrance cable, the neutral, 2 hots and a ground, out of the panel that we will feed from our system later. But we're gonna pull it out. Willis just went down into the crawl space to pull it out. And he's got the clamp loosened up, and then we'll be feeding this panel off of our bypass here. We're also gonna feed this sub panel, which is again for freezers and a shed that was on the grid. Now we're making it off grid, and for future car chargers. Okay, go for it. Okay, it's a wrap of another system. I'm kind of calling this when the stars align in Starr. I'm in Starr, South Carolina, and this job has been one that has gone very smooth. A lot of jobs don't go this smooth, but having a 200 amp service, it makes it easy. Great if you have that. There's about 90 million houses in the United States that have 200 amp services, so they work really well with the Sol-Ark 15K inverter. We're using EG4s again, and we've got 1200 amp hours of battery, 60 kW of storage, and we're doing everything behind the meter using CTs. And so this is what we've done in here on the lower end here, and everything's working well. We're running the entire home right now, and we are trying to net zero this home. We did not do an interconnection. The utility is Duke Energy. We did not do an interconnection agreement with them. Well, we just passed inspection in this county, so the system is up and running, commissioned, and good to go. Outside, again, we have the two ground mounts with KB Solar, 21.6 kW. And we're just wrapping up, finishing up the trenches, putting grass seed down, making sure everything's nice. And now I'm about to explain the system to the customer, how it works, try to answer their questions. A little more cleanup here, and we're good. So this is fun. It's nice. The customer was super nice, easy to work with. Just trusted us to make the choices. Some customers like to challenge or interfere sometimes, and or pick their own materials which don't line up or have the wrong electrical characteristics or not optimal for the inverter, and so things don't go well, and they take longer to do, and it costs more money. I know they want to save money, but they never do. We're not here to rip you off. We're here to give you a system that you're going to love. system that is going to perform well, that's designed correctly. No power bill for the rest of your life is my goal. Take advantage of the tax credit if you can, and then having energy security if in event the grid goes down. The way we have the system set up is we are on the inverters and batteries all the time. If the grid goes out, this customer is not going to know. So that's what's fun. And we are wrapping it up, and they're very happy. And we're just going to monitor it, make sure I get the time of use settings correct. I do enjoy the app. I know some people don't like the PV Pro app, but it's sufficient for what it does. It's done a nice job and allows me to monitor, make tweaks, make adjustments, and so there you go. All right, well, that's it from when the stars aligned. So everything came together nicely. Very grateful and thankful for that. And shout out again to KB Solar for delivering the panels for free to us. Sinclair for making an awesome ground mount. Sol-Ark for making an awesome inverter. EG4 for making a very affordable battery that works. And for those battery cabinets with bus bars and casters, you knocked it out of the park. I don't know why people just won't get that, but you did. And so that's it. And shout out to the crew, to Wes and Willis and Tony and James as the new guy. We really, this is really 4 days. We built everything. Today we're here to talk to the inspector, label it, just do the small things, commission things. But we were done at noon. He left at 11:30, the inspector. But complete dual 15K, 2 ground mounts. And I think this is my record, 4 days done. So that's fun. So we keep getting better, keep getting faster. And some sites just work. Some sites, some jobs just flow. Some it's like uphill both ways. Again, the yard did not have irrigation to tear up. We didn't hit any plumbing. It was well located. We didn't tear up any electrical lines, phone lines, utilities, and any other landmines or septic. So that was great. The micro airs, Tony put those things on in like 5 minutes. That was done. So that 4-ton unit, 1.5-ton unit, have the soft start, and this went from 130 locking rotor amps to 30. This went from like 60 down to 15. Amazing product that allows us to do this. All right, if you need help with anything, designs, materials, installations, if you're close enough to us, let us know. Glad to help you out and get you everything you need. All right, Engineer 775 signing out.